Is this what I think it is? Packaged to me from G International in Olathe, Kansas. Yes! Garmin Zumo XT. So here's how my dash looked before. I'm going to retire the old-fashioned Oregon 450T, and I'm going to replace it with this Garmin Zumo XT. So the first step is going to be trying to find a nice place that I can set it. Since this one's going to be gone, I need to go ahead and pull it off. You cannot beat the convenience of that old school style Garmin mount where it was just a little handlebar clip. You put 2 zip ties on and then it was interchangeable. I could put my Rhino or my Oregon on there, so that was kind of nice. This one's going to be a lot more of a bike tailor oriented permanent solution. So what I need to do is kind of just play around here and see if I can find the best place to put it. One option with the included directions is you can actually take the bolts, the stock bolts, out of the brake clamp, the brake lever clamp here, and then this will just mount right here on the outside with some longer bolts that are included. It includes these spanner, plastic spanners or whatever those things are called. So I'm gonna try to get all this lined up, slide all the way through, and then let's get that one started. And then I have a little bit of room I can adjust it. So one thing you got to make sure is that when you turn the wheel, the bars all the way, that it won't make contact. So the way I've got it right now is it won't. So I think I'm going to do it at the high setting anyway. Alright, so it says to basically mount this onto the back of this. So this thing came with a tiny little screwdriver and screws. Came with 2 screws, but I only see one spot to screw that in at. So look at that, small. So that is to help hold that wiring harness tight against the back here. Now I need to mount this to here. Dump all those out. And the picture shows that I go from the front to, let's see, screw through a washer, then through the front, then through one of these little metal things that I guess recess inside of the rubber, through the piece here, and then through the nylon washer, or the nylon nut. That's just a 7mm wrench that I had. It seems to work. Before cinching it down too tight, I'm going to go ahead and get these other ones all run through. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good and pretty tight. The wiring adapter's on. Just gonna check it real quick and make sure this snaps in good. Help if you do it right side up. So yeah, there, it's snapped on. Then to eject it, you just push that little piece. There we go. So now I got the RAM mount on. I can install this piece. I call it a RAM mount because I think RAM, I don't know if RAM invented this, but I noticed they've got Garmin's name on these, so I don't know, did Garmin rip off RAM? Garmin was like, dang, RAM, you guys know what to do. I've had a few different RAM mounts and been real happy with them. So, I don't know if they're leasing it or what, but alright, let's go stick that on the bike and see what it looks like. Pretty simple. It looks like pretty massive, big front and center. I mean, I do definitely want it to be easy to see, but that's like, that may be a bit much. I may try it like that and see, and I can always move it later. That's nice. I like it the way it mounts. It's not taking up any more of my bar space. What would be ideal, I think, is if it were, you know, right in this vicinity right here. I think that would be a better spot for it. I don't know, I go to hit my key and it's just something else in my dash in my way. So I'm gonna try, I guess I'm gonna try pulling that ball out and moving it over here just to kind of see what it looks like. Alright guys, I got it done. So here's a quick demo of it working. Click that on. There's the screen. There we go. It boots up really fast. This is not a review on the actual GPS unit because I haven't really even used it yet. I just set it up. But I have the adapter going to the RAM mount that it included, and then just to the handlebar right here. The power cord, I have it weaving back this way, and then it goes down and just follows the existing wires down through this harness, and I crossed it over to this side just because the other wires were doing the same thing. Now you can see a zip tie right there where I tied it to the metal bracket that's on the bike, and I zip tied it because that box there's like a voltage regulator box on this GPS unit, and it wouldn't fit through that had I wired it up the other direction. And they say to do that, they say wire it all up first, but had I done that, I wouldn't have used the outside. Now the problem is I wanted to get the GPS to confirm that's where I wanted it, because at first I had it over on the other side. I didn't like it as much. I moved it over here. I like it a lot better, so that's why I ran the wires later. But anyway, so it goes through that, and then it just kind of cuts underneath the tank, and I just have a little bit of slack there. You can see my yellow colored cable right there. That goes to the fog light on the front, the LED fog light. But it comes out this other side, and then you can see a whole bundle. Those 3 zip ties right there, all that stuff is stuff that I've added. There's a GPS tracker device right there, and then that stock wiring harness connection that you see the red cables and stuff going into. There are 4 pins on that. 2 of them are ground. 1 is on an ignition, and the other one is always on. So I've got the GPS plugged into the always on. The GPS tracker, sorry, plugged into the always on, but I was using the ignition on for my LED fog lights, so I just basically just tapped them together and recrimped the flat connector on it, so that my Garmin GPS's wiring and the fog lights use the same connector on the front of that. I don't see any problem with that, but that away the GPS and the fog lights. So I'm going to turn my fog lights on just to show you. So there's my fog lights on. So just that and the GPS are both wired together so that whenever I turn it off, the fog lights automatically turn off so I won't forget. And the GPS then goes into its shutdown mode, which I guess it checks for updates before it shuts down. I'm going to just cancel that. Well, I guess if you cancel it, you still have to hit the power button. So anyway, that's what I've decided to do. I'll actually do some testing, some driving, and I'll hopefully do a review on the actual GPS unit later, and I'll also see if if I have any other ideas on as far as fitment and placement goes. That's pretty much where my old GPS unit was. It's where my new one is now. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to go out and try it out. So that's all for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment, and thanks for watching.